could still be defined by its local industries. Sheffield steel, Cornish tin, Clyde-built ships, Welsh coal.
Queen Elizabeth II is the first reigning British monarch to go down a mine since George V in 1912. And she wants to know all there is to know about everything.
We were a nation built on industry, but much of that industry was beginning to look a little out of date. And the Queen wasn't the only stylish lady going down the mines.
On the 21st of March 1954, a glamorous woman, more used to furs and diamond chokers than boiler suits and miners' lamps, pulled on a hard hat, clambered into a cage like this, and was lowered into the warm, oily blackness of a coal mine.
Her name was Nora Docker, wife of the multi-millionaire industrialist Sir Bernard Docker.
Surrounded by miners, Lady Docker cut herself a brick-sized lump of coal. "I shall keep it in my china cabinet," she declared, "and treasure it always as proof that I have really been down and done my bit."
As she emerged, blinking into the daylight, she was greeted by a corps of press photographers she tipped off herself. You might not think it, but in a strange way, Nora Docker embodied the changes that would buffer and transform British industry over the next half-century.
They're largely forgotten these days, but the Dockers were the newspaper celebrities of their age. Sir Bernard was the epitome of the cigar-chomping industrialist. He was chairman of Birmingham Small Arms, which owned the royal car makers Daimler, BSA motorbikes, and much else. Nora was a working-class girl with a seemingly insatiable appetite for luxury, extravagance, and glamour.
All Castleford was out as a gold-plated Daimler drove by. This luxurious transport brought Lady Docker to a marbles match.
Bernard was Nora's third millionaire husband. Not bad for a girl born above a butcher's shop in Derby. The newspapers absolutely loved them, and for year after year, the British public was delighted to be horrified by their antics.
But Nora's antics were of increasing concern to the board of BSA as she splurged a fortune on expenses. Then in 1951, her husband invited her to design a unique car for the Earl's Court Motor Show.
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try.
The gold-studded, gold-plated Daimler, built for none other than the very well-known Lady Docker. There are 7,000 gold stars on it, and even the exhaust pipe is covered with gilt. Quite a car, in fact, for quite a gal, of course.
And you can get it if you try.
The car made an instant splash. In an age of post-war austerity, few people had seen excess quite like this, and suddenly the name Daimler was on everyone's lips. Well, Daimler and Docker. Every year for the next few years, Nora Docker had a new car designed for her. This is one of the last, the 1955 car known as the Golden Zebra.
I didn't know what to do the interior with, and I suddenly had the bright idea of it must be fur. Some reporter came and said, "Why did I do it in this particular skin? And why didn't I do it in mink?" And I said, "Mink's too hot to sit on."
BSA should have been one of the great industrial titans of the Second Elizabethan Age. Britain's answer to Krupp in Germany or Mitsubishi in Japan. It had thrived since Victorian times, producing guns, cars, and motorbikes for world export. But by the 1950s, its old-fashioned production methods and failure to modernize saw it squeezed by cheaper foreign competitors. modern Lady Docker's exhibitionism seemed increasingly outrageous. And in 1956, Sir Bernard was sacked. Over time, the once great BSA was broken up. In many ways, this was a classic cautionary tale for the new Elizabethan period. Sir Bernard and Lady Docker as the greedy, profligate industrialists driving a business into the ground. But as ever, the truth is subtly and importantly different. The problems facing BSA went far deeper than any spending spree by Nora Docker. And in a curious way, she was pointing towards a different British future. Even as manufacturing was on the down, we were rediscovering the central importance of marketing flair.